Hey guys, so wanted to give you guys a little video study here, a little analysis of Marcelo Garcia rolling with Rafael Lovato Jr. These are two guys I've both studied so much. You know, Marcelo's still on my bucket list to train with. Um, so I wanted to get this one out to you. So this one is a roll. So obviously going to start from the knees. You can see Marcelo takes his usual 2-on-1 grip when Lovato engages. Doesn't let him grip that hand on the collar. And let's see how Lovato responds. So Marcelo's pretty insistent with his grips. I think all the Alliance guys usually are. So a lot of grip fighting going on here, not letting people take their grips. This is a little bit more advantageous gripping scenario so for Lovato here compared to Marcelo. So in the beginning, Marcelo wouldn't let him have a collar grip at all, like was always doing the 2-on-1, and Lovato felt that pressure. He came back with a little bit different strategy, now has grips more to his advantage. So he was able to snag that collar and pant that time and do like a little circle pass just to get things started. And he got to a pretty awesome position, really. Like Marcelo plays a butterfly guard, and that got a little bit too far, and he was able to get into his smash pass, into his side smash there. And obviously Marcelo is amazing with his hooks, so we're going to see how he deals with it all. Like he's able to get that frame in there, but he can't seem to get that knee up into the rib area here. So now he's fully in the side smash. Lovato had a little bit better position a minute ago. His head's still in amazing shape there. So pretty cool to see Marcelo try to deal with this pressure. And so Marcelo's going to square up. Pretty common, response you're going to see, and he used a good amount of effort to do that and did it wonderfully. And now here he is, getting a little bit of elevation. Lovato's going to be controlling that pant and shoves it through to step over for mount, trying to hook the legs to establish that mount. Marcelo, keeps fighting, keeps moving through it, does an amazing job. I think he's got at least one knee through, if not two knees through. Lovato's trying to hunt the neck there a little bit, but Marcelo built up, going for mount to, back to a side smash on the other side. Marcelo has the underhook. Usually in a side smash, you don't worry as much about the underhook, but he did a fantastic job getting that knee up through the ribs. And then and now that underhook's, he's got a belt and an underhook, butterfly guard. Now we're talking, usual, Marcelo Garcia's, A game. So quickly elevates, gets into a, shooting for the single leg X, but Lovato's putting, a ton of pressure, putting forward with that right knee. So, I had to watch this. I've been there so many times with Lovato. So it's awesome to see how Marcelo like works under this pressure and doesn't just accept getting smashed. And here he is building all the way up, to a full X guard. He moved to the underhook first because of that knee pressure, and now he's pretty much into full X guard here for a second. So another thing here, so what Lovato likes to do is control a sleeve and stand up, really straight. So we've already gone so Marcelo just a couple seconds ago was in a side smash. I mean, even a little bit was using the mount. So he worked all the way from mount, didn't give up, worked all the way through the side smash, X guard. It wasn't a great X guard. Like Lovato had his knee on the floor, made him stand up. There was still a lot of knee pressure, underhooked the legs. Lovato's given him a good amount of pressure here with the wrist and sleeve control. And, but through off balancing, he's trying to pass off that sleeve into the other hand. And, that makes Lovato take a knee. And honestly, Lovato doesn't love to be on his knee here. He's more of a standing passer of the X guard. So even getting there, it's all been like four good transitions in a row for Marcelo building out of that bad stuff. So you can see him like dealing with this sleeve grip. That's going to be like a story of the day. Is how Marcelo deals with that. It's a big problem because most people have issues as soon as you control the sleeve because they can't stand up. So this was something like this used to give me so many problems. A guy would grab my sleeve. Maybe it was Lovato a lot, and I wouldn't know how to deal with that. So, seeing, Marcelo work through these problems and everything, you can see him handing it off, trying to break grips. Lovato's ridiculously strong with his grips, and obviously this is Marcelo's signature position. So you can see him try to use his knee shield, or, uses his shin there to try to strip grips a little bit. I think he'll do that more in a different roll, like rolls 2 and 3. I think he used it a little bit more. But he's getting some good off balancing here. Um, and Lovato's obviously using his wingspan. Boom. Let's go through that one more time there. So right there, put his shin on the side of the wrist, used it to strip. Boom. Now his hand was free, decided not to try to charge on a sweep just yet. And Lovato's, trying to get some type of control of his sleeve. Because Lovato knows if he can put that hand down, it's going to be that much easier for Marcelo to get up. Marcelo now gets control of the collar and gets up completely, without it. So that's something we talk about a lot in classes, being able to stand up on an X guard sweep without control, without using your hands. Sometimes it's just not going to be there. So Marcelo has a hand on the pant. He's got a hand on the collar. Lovato has his sleeve, so there's no way at this point he's going to be able to drop that hand to the ground. And he gets up. Boom, right there. So this hand is completely off the ground, using that collar actually to help get himself up, and is able to come down on this sweep. And Lovato's able to get the close guard on this sweep, and Marcelo's going to start working to stand up. So obviously, I'm a huge fan of both these guys. Honestly, would have rather. So Lovato's taken 2 sleeve grips. Would have liked to see Lovato attack from the close guard, honestly. If there's some place that Marcelo has, a little bit of difficulty, it's probably inside the close guard. Shanji had some success there with him, and Jacare had some success there with him. If you just watch, if you watch Marcelo train, like if there's going to be one area, it may be the close guard. Like he did get out of Hodger's close guard excellently, and that's one of the nastiest there is. But anyway, here we are. Lovato's decided to go spider guard with double sleeve, but notice a lot of what's going to happen in this roll isn't necessarily like your traditional spider guard of like foot in the bicep, or you see people teach like 2 feet in the bicep, foot in each bicep. And that rarely happens, like we talked about Homolo before. So there's going to be a lot of like De La Hiva with both sleeves, and it's just fun to see how high-level guys make these decisions and go through these sequences. You can see there the De La Hiva that Lovato's playing there. And, I always think, again, all the Alliance guys are great on that. And Lovato tried to off-balance him overhead, but the Alliance guys are so good at grip breaking. Marcelo got hit with a little bit of like a mermaid sweep there. So just to go over that again, boom, crosses the ankles behind the knees because Lovato's got a tiny bit of a height advantage, and then flips them over. Marcelo does a great job almost getting back up, like trying to stand up in base here, fights through the sweep, but then that knee pressure. So just to go through that sweep, how that'd work. I always think of this as like a Leandro Low mermaid sweep. My quick finding, I couldn't find anything of that, so let's look at
My dad, where?
like so
My dad.
get up. Low does some variations where he grabs the far ankle. So here we are, I think like a signature Lovato passing situation where he has wrist control and the cross sleeve. Or sorry, wrist control and the cross collar here. So he's really going to be putting a lot of pressure. I think nowadays he wouldn't go as much to the pulling. He'd be much more in like that situation, and there's going to be some transitions here that I think Lovato is, maybe in his older age, has learned to stay more patient there, and he'll just stretch you out and put a ton of pressure on your neck. So right now there he switched. He lost wrist control to go for the choke, and now he's given up a couple grips. So I think this is 2013 or something like that. So obviously these guys are both evolving and making changes. But so I think that's maybe the start of some of this evolution. So Marcelo's doing a good job standing on his side. It's pretty much a 3/4 mount situation here, and Marcelo gets to deep half guard. So like this is always somewhere you see a lot of Lovato opponents is in deep half guard. Lovato's a long guy, he puts a lot of pressure in, so guys are able to work to get to deep half guard. They hold his foot there. Marcelo's not known as a deep half guard player. Most of his stuff ends up going he's not Faria or anything. Most of his deep half gets to X guard. He does have some cool stuff. Now he's in like a reverse half guard. He has some cool stuff. He went for a little arm lock. Like I love Marcelo's sweep where he controls the head. From an underhook, the guy backsteps and he controls the head, bridges him back over. Like he's the man at that sweep. So he's going to be working to get those hands locked here. But Lovato does a good job, senses that, gets a hand on the collar and jumps back over to the cross knee pass. And now we're sort of back to where we were a little bit ago, but it's probably a little bit better for Marcelo than it was. And see how Marcelo used that knee to like bump him in the butt, get some space, throws the leg over, and gets to open guard. So just real quick on that. So boom, bumps him forward, throws the leg over almost like a little lasso, and use it to make space. And then Marcelo always sitting up right away and hitting the reset. So not quite as bad as where we were in the beginning. Again, Marcelo did a great job fighting through everything, used some positions that he's maybe not the best at, deep half guard, and then turned it into something, and now he's back to a neutral position. So excellent job on that. So here we are back at the reset. They're both having fun, both training hard. Marcelo does a great job, 2-on-1, and Lovato's going to control the collar with his left hand. Sort of an interesting point here. And Marcelo pulls, and not his usual butterfly. So this is like a two feet on the one leg, so it's usually used more for his offside sweep, like some of his 2-on-1 sweeps when he's controlling the other arm. But he actually has Lovato's right arm here, and Lovato has Marcelo's collar with his left. So I love this little sequence. So you can see again where Lovato's hand is. Boop, and gets swept over there. So and he still has the left hand on the collar. So Lovato actually had the opportunity to put his left hand down. That was not being controlled by Marcelo whatsoever. But man, it's a hard roll. Or like these guys are both many-time world champions and everything. So mistakes even get made even with the best guys in the world, and that's just amazing timing and for Marcelo. Marcelo did a great job stripping the grip there, if you guys saw that. Like Lovato's like hand sets in the collar, that's a pain in the butt to get out of, and Marcelo is going to use like his posture there to sort of hang him on that grip, and then strips it off and controls him there. So Lovato's slowing him down with a little bit of an ankle grip. Usually I think of Marcelo being pretty patient when people grab his ankle. If the guy's going to hold there a little bit, he's not always super aggressive. And there another grip strip as well. So Lovato's trying to find things, just that little things like that, like not accepting a De La Riva hook when you don't want it there. He's going to control the grip and then use the time when Lovato's chasing stuff just to pop that off. Like you don't always have to accept De La Riva being there. He gets the grips again. I think that's hilarious that Lovato went for a Berimbolo. Obviously 2013, Lovato's a young man at this time, but man, maybe his yoga and everything's getting better. But we always joke about how we're never Berimboloing. And Lovato decided, didn't like the situation being open guard disconnected and went to a little standing base, hit the reset, some mutual belt tying here, looking sharp. Also, check out the amount of tape on Lovato's hands. That's ridiculous. It's about a 30-minute tape job right there. So one of the moves of the roll coming up right here. So oh, that's sick. All right, so they both have sleeve collar, neutral grips. Lovato has that leg stepped up. Marcelo matches and then just basically baseball slides into a sweep here. So he's going to be having one hook and one foot and sweeps him over. Really cool move. People have done breakdowns just on that. A move Marcelo's done on, I believe, a breakdown on YouTube. I could pull that up. But Marcelo goes from the knees and gets this dominant position. Now, when I first watched this, I was like, they're both on the knees. Doesn't happen in a match. Sort of like, okay, that's something that happens in training, but doesn't necessarily happen in matches. But let's go back. Here's 2011, Marcelo Garcia. Lucas Leite, final of the 2011 Black Belt World Championships. So you're about, 30 seconds into this match. They've done a little bit of grip fighting here. So Lucas Leite, Marcelo. Marcelo's getting grips. Collar sleeve, pulls guard. Goes to the knees, one leg up.
Wow.
One more time. Both on the knees just for a second.
Wow. Wow. Sits into a swimming.
So yeah, definitely not just for training there. Apparently, almost think you have to check the rules. I feel like that started from the knees in the 2011 World, so I'm not sure if that'd still be 2 points, but it happened so fast and it was so beautiful, they might give it to him there. So Marcelo's in side control, worked all the way to knee and belly, had an arm isolated at one point. Lovato got that back in, pummeling that back in, and then has a pretty sweet reversal there. So, I mean, that started off pretty bad, like this position, arm isolated, totally in side control. He's not letting him go around the head to attack the arm. So Marcelo switches to a knee on belly. That's going to make a little bit of space, and Lovato's going to be able to dig that underhook in. And then from here, obviously Lovato has to be careful, go into turtle with, one of the best people on the back ever, Marcelo. So he's not going to give him too much time. He's going to basically do a double shoulder roll, swing his legs open, and catch. Awesome sweep, pass control, but Lovato showing some good defense there. And here we are, signature De La X from Lovato. Just one more time on that, guys. We just went over teaching that, so that was pretty quick. So here he's in not a great open guard, hand on the collar, but quickly gets the ankle, threads the deep De La Hiva in, and then X's up. You can't just go with deep De La Hiva probably with Marcelo. He's one of the best backstep passers. Marcelo, one of the best passers out there, but his backstep pass is amazing. This way's amazing, but most people can't, do that reverse half guard. Obviously they were in that earlier, but with Lovato on top. So Lovato's going sleeve and collar. Marcelo's going to have to drop to a knee here, I believe, to avoid all this craziness. So one of the things you have to worry about is for Lovato is him going this way. So he was controlling that sleeve. He decided to go for an omoplata triangle thing, and Marcelo slips his head out. I guess I would have liked to see him come up on the single leg. So if you could follow my advice, that'd be awesome. And there's the end of the roll. So great stuff. Both those, a lot of world championships in there. Fun roll. You can see how much, so much mutual respect and everything. So, man, that's what I got for you guys. Great to share. Great way to start my day watching these guys train.